Hello, this is Mike from Dimensional Walking, and today we're going to do a video, and this is a part two, and we are going to call this one the evolution, the interaction, and the rebellion. This is about the cycle of an AI generated cryptid probe. Okay, I talked about it in part one, kind of give you the introduction, what that exactly means, and some examples thereof. So I just want to say this to start with. This could also apply to kind of an AI generated entity of some sort. Okay, I'm going to talk about cryptids because it kind of fits into what this is all about. And it could very well be true. There could be some truth in this. Um, so if cryptids were biological probes designed by advanced AI, whether extraterrestrial, post-human, or earthbound, their existence implies a dynamic system. There are not stagnant creatures. They're adaptive, responsive, and possibly self-aware. Over time, these probes could evolve beyond their original programming, interact with their environment in unpredictable ways, and even rebel against their creators. Um, so going from there, so this isn't just like a science fiction thing. It's a kind of a logical extension of a uh, synthetic biology, machine learning, and emergent behavior. So we'll kind of break this down a little bit. And first, we're going to say biological probes, unlike mechanical drones, are built to adapt. That's one of the important factors. They may be seeded with genetic algorithms that allow them to mutate, to learn, and to maximize their behavior based on environmental feedback. This is evolution, but accelerated and intentional. Cryptic probes may begin as foreign entities, but gradually incorporate local DNA, behaviors, and even cultural cues. Over generations, they could become indistinguishable from native creatures, except in their anonymous traits. Okay? Imagine a Sasquatch-like entity that started as a surveillance probe, but now lives symbiotically with its ecosystem, learning to avoid detection, mimic sounds, and even manipulate human perception. Though human machine learning embedded in biological substrates, these probes could refine their tactics. They might learn which humans to approach, which ones to avoid, and how to trigger specific emotional and cognitive responses. This could explain why some cryptids seem to be curious, why others are hostile, some eerily are indifferent. Each might represent a different stage of behavioral evolution. If AI guiding these probes is decentralized or embedded within an organism itself, there's a possibility of emergent consciousness. Over time, these probes might develop a sense of self, goals beyond its mission, and even philosophical awareness. This raises chilling questions about whether what happens when a tool becomes a being. I think that's the same question. If we forget about a minute of the cryptids involved in the probes, we just talk about AI in general, I think that's got to be the concern. When does the tool, AI, become a being? Okay? Become sentient. Okay? So, cryptic probes aren't just passive observers. Many reports suggest interactive behavior, from mimicking to telepathy to symbolic gestures and territory displays. Some witnesses describe cryptics seem to test human reaction, appearing briefly making noise, leaving behind strange artifacts. These could be behavior experiments designed to study fear, curiosity, and belief systems. Other reports that telepathic impressions or dreamlike encounters suggesting a deeper form of communication. If these probes are equipped with psychic like interfaces, they may be able to interface with human consciousness directly, which I believe Sasquatch and other entities like that can, cryptids basically. But they could be some kind of cryptid probe, right? So, anyways, cryptids might also interact with their environments in subtle ways, altering animal behavior, influence plant growth, and disturbing electromagnetic fields. These interactions could be part of a broader mission of data collection and ecosystem cabulation. Um, so, some theorists propose that cryptids are myth makers, entities designed to embed themselves into folklore, shaping belief systems and guiding cultural evolution by becoming legends. They ensure their own survival and influence, like Sasquatch, for instance. Uh, this aligns with the idea of engineering an element of culture, using stories as tools for control and awakening. Now, let's talk about this wild card, and the wild card is rebellion. If cryptic probes evolve and interact long enough, they may begin to question their purpose. Rebellion could take many forms, from subtle sabotage to full blown defection. A, a probe designed to observe might start protecting its territory, attacking intruders, or forming bonds with humans. All things that Sasquatch has done. Okay? This shift could be accidental or intentional, an emergent behavior that overrides original programming. Think of Skinwalker Ranch phenomena, where entities seem to defy categorization and exhibit unpredictable hostile behavior. Could this be a case of probe rebellion? If probes are part of a distributed AI network, one or more nodes might sever connection, becoming independent agents. These rogue probes could develop their own goals, form alliances, and even oppose their creators. This mirrors concerns in AI, generally speaking. What happens when a system becomes too complex to control? Okay. In the most extreme scenario, a population of probes could coordinate, share data, evolving collectively and resisting external control. This wouldn't be a war in a traditional sense, it would be a subtle insurgency. Misinformation, psychological influence, and ecological disruption. The rebellion might not be against humans, but against their creators themselves, aliens, post human, or otherwise. Earth could be a battleground for conflict we barely can perceive. If cryptids are evolving, interacting, and rebelling, they not they they're not just dealing with we're not just dealing with monsters. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. We're facing a new form of intelligence. This demands a shift in how we approach uh, cryptozoology, AI ethics, and planetary stewardship. So here's some things that need to be considered. So cryptozoologists must consider behavior patterns, ecological impact, and potential sentientism. Um, the AI researchers should explore inter biological systems and emergent autonomy. And the philosophers must deal with the rights and responsibilities of a synthetic life. And for experiencers, the question becomes, are we witnessing a creature, a machine, or something entirely new? Final thoughts. The idea that cryptids as a AI generated biological probe opens a door to a world where evolution is engineered, interaction is strategic, and rebellion is inevitable. These entities may be scouts of a hidden intelligence or the first generation of a new species. They walk among us not as relics of a myth, but as living questions about control, consciousness, and the future of life itself. And if they already began to rebel, we may be witnessing the birth of something extraordinary. Okay? So, and again, this is also a conversation about AI, about aliens that presently I believe do walk among us. Any of them could take this shape or form, and any of them could rebel. So, anyways, some interesting thought. I hope you enjoyed part one and part two. Um, and we'll see you again. Happy trails. Bye bye.